Now, we all know, as in the book of Galatians, for example, the book of Galatians chapter 5 sets out for us that the Christian life is a struggle and will always be a struggle. But there's some problems in certain aspects of the Reform movement, not so much in Reformed theology as modern-day Reformed guys. They almost seem to boast in the fact of sin defeating them. They think they're super spiritual or understand the weighty matters of holiness because they say, "Wretched man that I am, and I am just a sinner." I want to tell you something. Some of that language is wrong. If you are truly a Christian, you have the teachings of Christ, you have the providence of the Father, you have the Spirit of God working in your life, and my dear friend, there ought to be victory over sin. Yes, we will struggle with sin, and yes, at times it will be 3 steps forward and 4 steps back. It is a real raging battle. But if over the course of your life you are not seeing victory over sin, it is a good indication that you do not know God and God does not know you. Remember what He says, "I will cleanse them from all their filthiness and their idols." If I were to describe my Christian life, if I were to look back on my Christian life the last 30 years, that passage applies more than any other passage. I can see God cleansing me from my filthiness and my idols. And He will continue to do so until the day that I die, because glorification is when we reach perfection. But make no mistake about it, you can become transformed. I have met many a saint in their 70s and 80s and 90s that glowed with holiness. And the Bible gives us many great promises that we can change. Remember in my testimony this morning, I told you how God saved one of the greatest liars who ever walked the planet. And then after my conversion, still struggling with truth. And God just relentlessly beating me to death. You see, He who began a good work in us will finish it. He will. And there will be victory over sin.